Gazprom capitulated to Ukraine. At a time when the three-year dispute between Gazprom and Naftogaz Ukraine over the $2.6 billion debt awarded to the Ukrainian company by the Stockholm arbitration ended in the surrender of a Russian gas holding. Gazprom is ready to pay Ukraine $3 billion in accordance with the arbitration decision, a source familiar with the gas negotiations in Minsk said. Debt settlement will be part of a package agreement for the supply and transit of Russian gas to the EU, sources said. And the final chord in this surrender was that Gazprom agreed to pump gas through Ukraine for another 5 years. Gazprom's 5-year-long attempt at Gazprom to go around Ukraine with a gas pipe and deprive Kiev of transit revenue was a failure. Following the results of negotiations in Minsk, Russia and Ukraine agreed to continue the transit of Russian gas to the EU through the Ukrainian gas transportation system. According to the protocol signed by Gazprom's head Alexei Miller and Minister of Energy Alexander Novak, published by the Ukrainian government in 2020, the Russian company will pump at least 65 billion cubic meters through Ukraine. This is the minimum amount, in case of short delivery of which Gazprom will have to pay a fine. And another unpleasant surprise caught up with Gazprom firing a control shot. The technique of an old and experienced professional is immediately visible, 2 in the chest, and 1 in the head. Oh, this American establishment, because it knows how to deliver the final blow on time. In fact, this is a blow to the coffin. Nord Stream 2 construction halted due to U.S. sanctions. The Swiss pipeline Nord Stream 2 has suspended operations due to sanctions, right after Trump signed the $730 billion military budget, which included a provision to block the construction of Nord Stream 2. Swiss Allseas, hired by Gazprom to lay the Nord Stream 2 gas pipeline in the Baltic Sea, suspends all work due to U.S. sanctions. The company, which provided Gazprom with the fastest pipe layer in the world, capable of operating at speeds of up to 5 km per day, will be awaiting clarification from the U.S. authorities. According to an Allseas release on Saturday, sanctions against the pipeline worth $11 billion will take effect immediately, from December 20. Announced on the eve of the Office of Foreign Assets control of the U.S. Treasury. The same applies to the Turkish Stream, against the construction of which American sanctions were also introduced. For 3 years, the Americans politely warned. Today, when 90% of the planned resources were invested in the pipeline, they finally did what no one expected. If you look from the point of view of strategy, the Americans dragged to the last so that the Kremlin would notably spend on the Nordic and Turkish Stream, which is senseless from the point of view of the economy, and then, clack, they would carry out sanctions. Brilliantly. But recently, there has been speculation that it is impossible to prevent the completion of the project. On the other hand, the pipe layer stopped work, and Putin's Russia, by all accounts, is not able to complete the construction, due to elementary technical reasons. So, finito la comedy.